Hey there, and welcome to today's video about front-end web development. Today we're going to be talking about how the internet works and what the difference is between the internet and the web. I want you to know that the internet is not the same thing as the World Wide Web. Although these terms are often used interchangeably, they are actually two very different things. The internet is a system of interconnected computer networks that all use the same rules, known as protocols. The protocols allow the computer networks to talk to one another. Unbelievably, the internet has actually been around since the 1960s. It was first developed by the US government in collaboration with some private companies. They created it in order to communicate massive amounts of information via computers. The internet was initially used by government agencies and universities to exchange news, email, and files, or to remotely log into computers. The internet is the all-encompassing network of networks. That includes all private and public computer networks. Everything from your home internet hookup to your company's internal network. This lets you do everything that you need to do. The internet network makes all of your communication and data sharing activities possible. You move files around using FTP, you send messages via email, chat with friends over instant messaging, connect with your family using video chat, and you can back up your data in the cloud. It wasn't until big business got involved, and through the launch of commercial internet service providers in the 1980s, we began to see the emergence of the World Wide Web. The web is only one of many applications that have been built on top of the internet. The web is what most people think of as the internet. It is an information sharing application that sits on top of the internet and allows you to read and interact with web pages through a web browser. Web pages that we see in our web browsers make up the web. The network of interconnected computers around the world that enable us to see those web pages make up the internet. So how did it all begin? Well, Sir Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 invented the World Wide Web. He was trying to find a new way for scientists to easily share the data from their experiments. Hypertext and internet already existed at this point, but no one had thought of a way to use the internet to link one document directly to another. Tim suggested three main technologies that meant all computers could understand each other. These were HTML, URL, and HTTP. All of these remain in use today. He also made the world's first web browser and web server. The reason that the web is so important is it opened up the internet to everyone, not just scientists. It connected the world in a way that was not possible before, and it made it much easier for people to get information, share, and communicate. It also allowed people to share their work and thoughts through social networking sites, blogs, and video sharing. In 1989, Sir Tim Berners-Lee wrote the original proposal for the World Wide Web. He wrote about technologies that needed to make the World Wide Web work. His proposal included three main technologies: HTML, URL, and HTTP. These were needed and remain in use today. In 1991, the first website went live at CERN in Europe. Sir Tim Berners-Lee created the first ever website. It was hosted by CERN in Switzerland, the research center that he worked at. In 1992, the first web server outside of Europe was set up at Stanford University in the US. All of the earlier web servers had been set up in Europe. This was the first one in America. There were only 10 known web servers around the world in 1992. In 1993, CERN allowed anyone to use the web protocols and code for free. The technologies that have been developed to make the World Wide Web become open source so that anyone could use them at any time and for free. At this point, people started to create websites for personal and online businesses. The number of known web servers increased to 50 during 1993. In 1994, telecommunication companies started to provide internet access. access to the World Wide Web started to become available in people's homes. The number of web servers increased to 623. In 1994, the World Wide Web Consortium, or W3C, was founded by Sir Tim Berners-Lee. The W3C is the organization that makes sure that the World Wide Web continues to develop. The web has changed a lot since it was first created. The first websites were made up of simple pages, just words and pictures, a bit like online books or magazines. Most people couldn't create their own web pages. They could only be created by hand coding, and we had limited tools and resources in regards to layout and design. As the web began to develop, people started communicating and sharing more. They used social network sites and blogs. It became much easier to create your own content on the web and to share it. This new type of web became known as Web 2.0. Although the way people use the web has changed, the technologies really haven't. Many of the technologies that ran the first web pages are still in use today. The web is still changing today. Search engines have become better at reading, understanding, and processing information. They have found clever ways to find the content we want and can even show us other things that might interest us. Most websites are dynamic and interactive and provide the end user with a much better experience. And they work on a variety of devices. The web is certainly an exciting place to be.